Welcome to another episode of Guy Show Rugby. I'm Debbie O'Leary.
And I'm Cathal Slevin.
So last time we were here, we were all talking about the Six Nations. Will they, won't they? They did. I was right, predicted it. I knew I would. So Cathal, Paris, what do you think?
I thought it was one of those games that you just couldn't enjoy a minute of it.
The Irish team, if you had looked at them maybe 3 years ago, you wouldn't have thought they would have been able to come back from it. They would have crumbled under the pressure, especially after a slow start.
And all credit to France as well. I mean, they put on the display of the championship from their point of view. The last time we won there was the time O'Driscoll got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
And to finish off with a win in Paris for only his second time was excellent.
In terms of like standout players, who was yours for the Six Nations?
But for me, the one that really stood out was Peter O'Mahony.
Yeah.
I think he's a real leader. I think definitely a future captain of Ireland. You see, he's the captain of Munster now at a young age, and leadership is something that just comes naturally to him. Also, I thought Gordon Darcy was excellent, and I hope now that his beard's gone, he hasn't lost his power. Paul O'Connell, another one led by example. I mean, I don't think it's any coincidence that his game's improved since he switched to Pinergy. I think Andrew Trimble has to get a mention as well.
Yeah.
He kept out Simon Zebo, and there was a lot of controversy about it, but he was one of our standout players. He didn't have a bad game all tournament.
I don't think it's going to be a case where guys retire and we're back to square one. The follow through of players is just amazing. Schmidt, he must be smiling going into the summer tour against Argentina.
And the thing about it is the pressure's off now. I think it's all about building for the World Cup from here.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a lot of rotation next year's Six Nations.
Yeah.
Because I think this year he was kind of trying to get a feel for a squad, trying to lay down a marker saying we're here.
Yeah.
Next season I think we'll see Zebo coming in a bit more. McFadden, Luke Marshall, I think he'll mix it up at the centre to see what his best partnership will be going into the World Cup. And it's all about building towards that World Cup. Because of Schmidt's history, obviously he spent a couple of years at Leinster. Do you think he was biased towards picking the Leinster players?
Well, I mean, it's easy to look at it and say, yeah, he's definitely biased. But if we're going by results, I mean, it was the right pick on the day. And I'm always one for, making people fight for their places. Technically with Schmidt, what's so different about him that he has suddenly come in and just changed the squad? What's he doing differently?
They've also brought in Plumtree this year,
Yeah.
and our set piece has been immaculate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only two scrums we actually lost in the whole tournament were the last two against France, just to make it more nervy for the viewer, I think.
They just seemed like a different side to last year.
Yeah, and they're far more exciting side to watch. It's brilliant because you have this expansive game where you see all these great back moves.
So, standout move, standout try, what was yours? Okay.
It was the very first game against Scotland when Sexton broke from inside his own 22.
Yeah.
He ran the length of the pitch, offload to Heaslip, and Heaslip nearly got into the corner. For me now, that showed what Sexton was about this year. He just was willing to run and he was willing to pass.
Somebody who I'm looking forward to seeing and who hasn't really, I suppose, got a chance to prove himself this season is Luke Fitzgerald. I think he's a really exciting player to watch.
He's another one who can compete with Zebo and Tommy Bowe. Tommy Bowe's going to struggle to get back in the team.
And saying that just shows the players that we have this season.
Yeah, Tommy Bowe's a world-class winger and he's going to struggle to get into the Ireland squad.
So now we're joined by Oisín and we're going to talk Heineken Cup. So let's talk about Munster first. How do you think the quarters are going to go?
Looking forward to the Heineken Cup. They're playing Toulouse at home, which is, interestingly enough, the first time Toulouse are actually going to come Stone Park.
Yeah. I think, well, maybe I'm biased being a Munster girl, but I don't think they really have anything to worry about. I think Toulouse are 6th in the top 14 at the moment. I don't think they're really the squad that they used to be. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. I don't think they're the force they were when they were, they used to be the top dogs in French rugby and in European rugby, and it's not the case anymore. I mean, even in France, you've got teams like Clermont-Auvergne, you've got Toulon, the All-Stars.
Yeah.
They've just taken over. They've taken the mantle off Toulouse.
Leinster and Toulon, that's going to be a tough one. I think that's probably going to be the toughest one.
That's going to be the most tough one, and you're looking back to previous Leinster games when they've gone to France.
Yeah.
We're looking back to the semi-final when they last won it, when they beat Clermont. But if they are to go to Toulon and get a result out of it, they need to produce a performance like that.
I think Toulon are an excellent team. I think they really are the team to beat in this year's tournament, but I think Leinster could be the team to beat them.
Rob Penny has thrown the cat amongst divisions before this. They face each other off in the Rabo, saying that they're effectively playing the Six Nations champions. Now, here's a fantastic opportunity. First off against Munster and then against Toulon. Are they really what Rob Penny is supposedly making them out to be?
So, all going well, Munster and Leinster both win their quarters. They're going to be playing each other. How is this going to play out?
Leinster win.
Oh my God. they're both 1 and 2 in the Rabo League, so they're the top teams. They're going to be facing off. I mean, it is hard to call it. I know you say Leinster are going to win, but that's just because you're a Leinster man. It is going to be a really tough call.
And the beauty of Cup Rugby is that it's decided on the day.
So if Munster or Leinster get into the final of the Heineken Cup, who's going to be the biggest competition? Who are we going to be facing off against?
Well, for me, I think I really have a feeling for Claremont.
For me, I was going to say Ulster. I mean, if you're looking, they're one of the only sides that are undefeated. They've won 6 from 6. Okay, so no show would be complete without talking about the fairy tale that is Brian O'Driscoll's last season. And it has been a fairy tale to date. Does he have it in him for this last final push?
The only inconsistent thing about Brian O'Driscoll's career has been his haircuts.
You look at Leinster and the Heineken Cup and you're thinking, like, my God, they do have a chance of doing it. If they overcome too long, they definitely have a chance.
Well, that would be a fairy tale of all fairy tales to end it. So obviously, he's the nation's hero, and even after the season, it's not going to be the end of Brian O'Driscoll. So what do you think's next?
I think he'll go into a little bit of punditry to start and mix it in with a little bit of work with the Leinster backroom staff.
I think the Guy Show might be interested in getting him to do some punditry for us as well.
If he's lucky. That's all we have time for today. Brian, if you are watching, there is a place here for you. Just give us a call. So thanks for watching and see you next time.
Bye guys.
Yeah.